Hi, I'm Greg Sarah of Newsday Sports, and this is Pete Blyberg, the Executive Director of the new All-Star Classic, the National Football Foundation and College Football Hall of Fame All-Star Classic that pits the top 50 seniors from New York City football against Long Island's top 50 seniors. And Pete, it's back. What was once known as the Boomer Challenge, the Empire Challenge, is now the All-Star Classic. Mark Hudak and his group in the New York City football group, they've done an amazing job making this a reality. You are now the executive director after serving 24 years running the Boomer game. Are we ready to go?
Oh, we're ready to go, and we are so excited. Our special thanks to Mark and his organization for bringing us back. Everyone's excited about it. It's a 5-year break, and personally, I couldn't be more thankful to get back involved, to be with the high school kids and the coaches, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to call him Coach Hudak for this part of the show. I'm going to say that he's done an amazing job pulling everybody together from New York City and Long Island. He's the chairman of the New York City chapter of the National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame, and this was a lot of work. So when you look at it now, from the outside looking in, what Boomer Esiason and his staff pulled off for 24 years was amazing. They're going to name the MVP of this game after Boomer, which I think is so apropos. Your thoughts?
It is, and that was Mark's idea. And Mark, from day one, when we spoke back in the fall and he said we're looking to bring this back together, he made it crystal clear. It's all about the kids. We want to provide the best opportunity we possibly can, the best experience for these kids. And then in hindsight, he turned around and said, hey, no one's done more for amateur football on Long Island and New York City than Boomer, and I think it's apropos that we named the Player of the Game award after him, and that's what we'll be doing from this year on.
I love it. And you look at the uniforms. They get to take the uniforms home. Michigan, home uniform for New York City. Ohio State, away uniform for Long Island. What player wouldn't want to wear those uniforms?
Absolutely. And another idea of Mark's. When we did the Boomer game every year, we were going back and forth. What should we do? We don't want to duplicate colors or styles. Mark had a great idea. In honor of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame, we should honor the top rivalries every year. So obviously this year, Ohio State, Michigan. Next year, it could be UCLA, USC. It could be Auburn, Alabama. It could be Army, Navy, whatever it might be. But every year, it's going to be a different look. So the kids that are playing are going to have an opportunity to wear some of the greatest college rivalry uniforms from head to toe.
It's a phenomenal concept. I love it.
Yep.
The other thing that was interesting was to get this game rolling. I know other people have tried to get it rolling in the last 3 or 4 years and failed. And to his credit, the football insurance on helmets, he was able to overcome that and get 100 helmets. The technologically best football helmet, the best football helmet made now by Rydell, the Axiom football helmet. It's got to be exciting for everybody. The kids were fitted. Everybody was fitted for their own football helmet. That wasn't like when we played football. You just got whatever was on your head.
No, it's amazing. And again, this is a credit to Mark and the connections he had. This game would not happen. And like you said, a number of groups have tried this over the last 5 years and have failed for the same reason over and over again. Mark being in the insurance world, having the connections and people in the football equipment world. Richie Polo and his crew came in from Rydell. They sized the kids up. They're going to be in the best helmets that are on the market today, which is something they've never had before in the past. And I was kidding with Richie. I said, hey, we need the helmet numbers so I can number the helmets so we know whose kids, what locker to put the helmets. He says, no. When these come out, there's a tag on the helmet that says, this helmet was made for Greg Sarah, imprinted right into that shell.
That's pretty cool.
And it's pretty cool. So these kids are going to walk in the locker room that first day at Hofstra on the 17th of June and see this stuff hanging in a locker. And I think the only thing that's going to surpass that is when they walk in on game day the 21st and see those uniforms hanging in a locker.
Boomer always wanted the players to feel like they were professionals. You guys always treated them like they were professional players, and it seems to be the same concept.
The blueprint that we had in place for 24 years, we are continuing that with a few new tweaks here and there, which I think are going to make it even more exciting and better for the kids. But each kid will be at Hofstra. They'll have their own locker. Their uniforms will be washed every night for them, re-hung up in the locker. They're going to come back. They're going to get treated better here than a lot of they're going to be treated when they go into big-time colleges.
The Midsummer Classic is back. It's called the All-Star Classic. June 21st, 1 p.m., Hofstra Stadium. Do not miss it. Joining us now on the show, Tressa Baptiste of St. Joe's by the Sea of Staten Island, the CHSFL Division A champions. Did I get that right?
Double A1 champions.
Double A1 champs.
Yes.
Great job, Coach.
Thank you.
You've only been there a few years, but you've really turned the program around and got them going in the right direction. Tell us about St. Joe's by the Sea and coaching on Staten Island.
St. Joseph by the Sea, yes. We're academic school. We're huge on football. Currently, in the past 3 seasons here, I've been here since 22, going into our 4th season. Our first year, we managed to end the season at 500. Second season, similar to the first season, and finally our 3rd season around, we were able to take the championship home, finish at an 11-2 record.
So you've had an opportunity now to see a lot of the players from the boroughs, in the Catholic League. And there's a lot of talent throughout New York. Your take on football throughout New York City and the guys that might be playing in this game?
Absolutely. New York City football, it's unique in many ways, right? With all the distractions that's happening, kids still find time to commit and devote themselves to the sport. They're gritty on the football field. They're committed. The parents shows up every single day, and it's just a family-oriented sport, something that gives us an opportunity to mold young men.
So can football in a Catholic school galvanize a community the way a public school can?
Oh, absolutely. Similar to what it's done over the course of the past 3 seasons at St. Joseph by the Sea, we've been able to kind of incorporate the community into the school community, making it one, and it's a great football environment at St. Joseph by the Sea, Viking Park.
Back in the day, St. Joe's by the Sea was one of those programs that was, like you said, gritty, real tough kids. Monsignor Farrell, not too far away, same kind of grind, very strong kids, tough kids. Is it the same way? I mean, they were good for a while, on a cusp of a title, but then just couldn't get there, and then they saw some downtrodden years. But now you've brought them back to respectability and to a championship. Yes,
absolutely. And again, it's just a testament to the hard work from the players and the dedication of the coaches, and just understanding the task at hand.
Do you take your kids through your journey? Do you teach them through the ups and downs of maybe what you went through high school at Curtis and then on to college at Lackawanna? A lot of people don't know that Lackawanna is a phenomenal football program. And then, from there, you get to play in some big programs before getting an opportunity in the NFL. It's not an easy path or an easy journey, but your life experience must be a big help to coaching young people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to speak from a stance or a position from experience and being in the game. So, yes, we're able to relate to the kids a lot more from being, hands-on or boots-on-the-ground approach. And always in our coaching philosophy and our coaching approach, we're always approaching it from a boots-on-the-ground standpoint. We've been there. The kids understand we've been there. So there's a little bit more focus and attention to detail.
Tressa, take me through your journey. Curtis High School graduate, 2006, and then on to college. First playing at Lackawanna. You don't always have to go to the first big school you see. And Lackawanna, for all intents and purposes, was a phenomenal football school. It set you up for a Division I school for playing at Texas A&I. But you also told me something very interesting about some of the great talent that played at Texas A&I. More professional football players from there than from, let's say, the Texas A&M Aggies.
Absolutely. So Texas A&M, formerly known as Texas A&I, Texas A&M Kingsville. Yes, we have a few big names, that's definitely recognizable within the football community, like the Gene Upshaws. You have John Randall. You have Darrell Green, as recent as Al Harris, cornerback.
So you got a Hall of Fame players everywhere. So what's your message to your student athletes when you talk to them about, hey, look, the journey starts here, and it's what you put into it to get you where you want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just staying true to the grind, staying committed to the grind, and we always tell the kids to kind of hold on to that day one promise that you gave the sport, right? So we're always telling the kids, hey, your most important person in your life is the man in the mirror. And secondly, the truest love for the sport that you'll have is that initial feeling that when you ask mom and dad, hey, take me to Staten Island Boys or any little league and sign up for football. That's the truest passion. And of course, there's ups and downs in the game of football. There's hot summer days, there's cold winter afternoons, right? So even in those hot summer days, we're running 110s. Anchor back on that day one moment when you first got that feeling to go and ask mom or dad to sign up for football.
So now how do you get kids, right? You
Yes.
get them through that first training camp. It's hot weather and everything else. Now you're coaching in an all-star game, New York City against Long Island. There's a lot of pride at stake. You know, the city kids want to show the kids out on Long Island that we can play with you, we can compete. How do you get a couple of weeks of good practice or a couple of days of good practice in so that they're ready for a game like this?
Right. Well, an all-star game, right, it's usually the best of the best, right? We say the best versus the best. So it just comes down to lots of energy, effort, and passion, okay? It's a 1 week practice. You're probably going to practice 3 to 4 times, right, for about an hour or so a day. So there's not much that's going to happen, okay? There's not much you're going to be able to fine-tune. But what you can bring to the table is lots of energy, effort, and passion. Show you're enthusiastic about the sport. Show that you're passionate about the sport, and good things would happen.
How much fun is this going to be for all the kids from New York City? It's your first opportunity coaching an all-star team like this. You know, your take on it. What do you think of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my take on it is when I'm looking back to when I was first selected as a player in this game, okay, and understanding the enthusiasm that you had with the game and understanding that you're selected as one of the best in Staten Island. I think it's the same feeling that the kids are going to have this time around, knowing that they're selected and it's earned and not given, and they should go into the game.
What was your biggest memories of your game when you played in the Summer Classic? And back then it was the Boomer Challenge, the Empire Challenge. You think back to that, what can you give to the players this year to say, hey, look, here's what I did. Here's my memories. This is what was fun.
I would say the number one thing is you kind of just want to live in the moment because it goes by so quickly that you want to be present in the moment. Don't think about the next play or don't think about impressing the coach on the sideline. You kind of just want to enjoy your teammates, enjoy your coaches, and enjoy the camaraderie that's there.
So you were a kid when you played in that game. I'm going to guess you were probably 18 years old. You know, so we're talking 18 years ago. You walk out in Hofstra Stadium, and there's a huge crowd. There's all sorts of bling. You know, everybody's got the new jerseys and the unis and the new helmet. Your takeaway. When you walked out there, what does your 18-year-old self say to yourself?
First and foremost, the size of the stadium, right?
Right.
These kids are not going to play in any stadium that's similar to a collegiate atmosphere, okay? We're playing football in New York City, okay? So you're not going to have that collegiate coliseum as Hofstra University has. And the amount of people, okay? The environment.
Super exciting. Well, listen, good luck coaching the New York City team. Loved having you on.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you one thing. Don't run. Don't run. I know you want to get out of here. Tell me about this thing.
Oh, man, it's...
You wear that proudly.
Yeah, we wear this proudly. It's number one thing is for the kids, right? It's for the kids. It's something that they can look back 30 years from now, walk into the campus and see this in our showcases on campus and say, hey, we've done this 30 years ago.
I love it.
You know, so it's just... Thank you.
Good luck.
All right?
All right,
Good
man.
stuff. Thank you.
Joining us now, Rob Blount, the Oceanside football coach and a prior player, an alum of the Boomer Challenge, of the Empire Challenge. Rob, you did not play in Nassau-Suffolk game. You played New York City against Long Island. Just take me back. How important was it to you to be selected for that game, and what did it make you feel like to be an all-star?
I think being selected for that game, top 50 in Long Island, is a tremendous honor. You know, when you sit there and look at the talent that we have, or always have, you know, in Long Island overall. But to be selected there and have the opportunity to be a part of that game, it's something where it's, you know, bragging rights for your school, and also it's a very good feeling. And I think more importantly for mom and dad and the rest of the family, it was a special thing.
Take me back to 2002 when you were victorious with Long Island, and your memories of the game, like basically from practice to the end of the game, the handshake. What really stood out to you that you still remember?
I think really the cool thing is how it's organized, and back then really the Jets were still in the Hofstra, so we were in their facility and whatnot, interacting with the players, so that was really cool. You know, even like the game day stuff set up, you know, going to Outback before the game, and then also, you know, getting into the locker room and seeing like all the lockers all decorated with all the, you know, LI gear, you know, that was really special. And you know, just being around a bunch of players that you never really met before, which now you still like lifelong friends with them.
It's kind of cool that Mark Hudak brings this game back through the New York City chapter of the National Football Foundation, and there's an opportunity now. We had a couple of years where we didn't have this game. Mm-hmm. It felt like a void. Like, you always look forward to that Summer Classic. I mean, do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. And when you say it was a void, even telling some of my players, hey, you got selected for this game, and they're like, what are you talking about? What game is it?
Yeah.
And we went a full cycle, 4 or 5 years without having it, and having the ability to bring it back, and some of the older people who know about it, I think it's really going to enrich, Long Island football and New York football altogether, and bring back one of the great things that we used to do.
You look at the roster for Long Island, and I know Tressa Baptiste likes the roster in New York City, and they have a lot of talent. And there's some kids from Long Island this year that aren't going to be available, some of the better players. But it kind of doesn't matter. We're so deep on Long Island in football. I think they're still going to have a great team. Your thoughts?
No, absolutely. Top down. I mean, we'll probably still be sitting in a room now, just speaking about players and people we want to select. But I think we have a lot of depth, and in different areas throughout the island, and a lot of programs do a lot of great things, and being able to have all these different weapons and trying to, even I look at the offensive side, trying to figure out who we're going to put where and who's getting touches and how to make that work. It's a fun thing to do as a coach in this game.
Yeah, I looked at the roster for Long Island, and you look at all the different players. It looks like you're wide receiver loaded. Is that? Do I have a good take on that?
No, absolutely. I think we're probably 8 to 9 deep at wide receivers, so hopefully we'll be in a lot of those 4 wide, 3 wide sets and whatnot. But we're not void of skill in the backfield either. We have some really good running backs and some good guys that's going to distribute the ball. And I think it's really cool because we have a mixture of guys that do a lot of different things. So it's going to be a lot of fun for Coach Stanley doing an offense and trying to piece this thing together.
Having that versatility is always important because you never know what's going to happen in a game. Unfortunately, sometimes guys get hurt, and you need people to come in and play, that position. Is it difficult to get players to buy in to play on the defensive side of the ball? A lot of guys want to, hand off for a touchdown or throw a pass, catch a pass, and when you're on defense, you're doing the grinding. Yep. Is it tough to convince guys, or no? Some guys really love it.
Definitely. I'll speak for myself personally. I was more of a quarterback in high school, and I actually started at safety, for it. And it kind of you looked over and said, I'm just as
better
good as that guy.
If not you could say better.
And it definitely turns a little chip in practice.
Do you remember who your quarterbacks were back then?
Yes, actually, Brian Rath, which was still good.
From Wantor.
Wantor, real good friend of mine still, and Jason Capaduro from MacArthur. And we still talk to the day.
That's pretty cool.
So it's really cool there, and they had awesome seasons and whatnot as well. But you sit there and you start to a little chip on your shoulder, and I think everyone on defense kind of molds into that, and it really becomes something special on the defensive side because you have certain rules, but at the end of the day, just go get the ball.
You want to make a play.
Absolutely.
So this game is revitalized after being absent for years, and it takes a village, they say, to do these things, and I think the volunteerism that we see, the coaches, Pete Blyberg running the game, Mark Hudak and his people that are behind the game, what makes this game a success moving forward?
I think the biggest thing is continuing to have the support of the individuals that revitalized it and brought it back, but then also whether it's the coaches associations in Nassau, Suffolk, CHSFL, really buying in, and PSAL to support it as much as we can. And it'd be great to get a bunch of local organizations, clubs, youth organizations out to the game to really support and bring it back to what it used to be. Because I'm sure you remember back in '99 when we started to get to this Long Island and City gaming. They were packed.
Yeah.
We're talking about 10, 15,000 people there. So hopefully we can build back to get to that point.
It became a thing. It was something everybody looked forward to. Everybody loves football. A good football game is always going to play well. It's great on TV. People want to read about it, who's on the roster, who's representing their school. Why? I think there's a lot of debates, too. I think there's a lot of interesting banter about, well, why are those 3 guys at running back and not 3 other guys? And it's curiosity. I think blending all that talent and making it work. Like you said, you bonded on defense. How much fun was that?
Oh, a ton of fun, especially since in my year we won on a interception for a touchdown.
Nice.
Jeff Denner from Comac, and I remember Joe Vito was our defensive back coach back then. So it's a lot of fun in that aspect, and I think. Even now, with the age of social media and interaction that players have and people have, I think it's going to ramp up the level of competitiveness too as well.
You're now in charge of the Nassau County Football Coaches Association. It's your first year. And what's your first message out there? Because the first thing you're doing, your first act is, hey, we got this big football game promoting our great sport. How do you get all the coaches involved?
I think the big thing is getting one to get their high school teams there, and I think for the coaches, especially the veteran coaches that have been here, this is kind of what we do. Like this is, when we get to the end of June, we come here and we watch this game. Whether you have 5 people in it, you have 2 people in it, 1 person in it, we support the game. And I remember for years after becoming a coach and when I'm not coaching in the game, just sitting up top with the rest of the Nassau County coaches and your kids and your families, and it really turned into a nice get-together where coaches get to interact and see each other's kids and whatnot and catch up. And I think that's important, but I think the big thing is going to have the young youth kids and also the high school kids to see what this was and what it's about. And I think it's really going to it's going to dangle a big carrot in front of a lot of high school players' eyes.
Because a lot of people will aspire to play in this game at some point in their careers. It'll be something that they reach for.
Absolutely.
Well, look forward to the game. I think it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a dandy.
Joining us now, Dave Ettinger. I am in the company of royalty, 4 Long Island championships in a row. Dave, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I told them that it would probably be hard to get anything out of you because you like to keep everything close to the vest. That's why Garden City never loses.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but Coach Flatley taught me a lot, and one was only say what needs to be said.
I loved Flatley. He was one of the greatest coaches of all time. We named an award after him for the Defensive Player of the Year in Nassau County. Dave, we're talking Long Island football against New York City football. The National Football Foundation has resurrected the Midsummer Classic. Everybody looks forward to the top senior football players on Long Island against New York City. You've coached in this game before, now it's back. Are you excited about it?
Absolutely. Again, lucky enough that I've been part of this game in the past, and it's a great event, and I'm just so happy for all the players from Long Island and New York City to be able to have this experience again.
As a player, you look back at this game and the emotions and pride, right? Isn't it about pride? Hey, I'm a part of the game. I'm one of the top 50 players on Long Island.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing day for them. They get treated like a college athlete to be able to play with some of these kids that they've battled against throughout the season, or guys that they've just seen in the paper. To be able to bring everybody all together for one game is just a great event.
So when you coach in a game like this where everybody is the best of the best, is it hard or is it easy?
It's definitely hard. Kids are in different roles. Every kid in this game is used to being the best kid on their team, and now you have everybody all together, playing one side of the ball, playing every other series. It's definitely an adjustment for the players.
How do you motivate guys that may be at a position that they'd rather not be in, but they're good for that position, good for their team, for the All-Star team, but they might be like, yeah, I'd rather be over there running the ball.
Yeah, it's hard. That's definitely hard. You try to get them to come together in such a short period of time with limited practices, and everybody likes to win more than they like to lose. So just try to motivate by trying to win.
When you pick 50 of the best players from Long Island, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you think about it, there are 117 football teams on Long Island. So you're picking, if you gave everybody one, less than half of the football teams are getting a guy. And, teams like Garden City, your team are going to get 3 guys or 4 guys. Floyd's going to get extra guys. Farmingdale's going to get guys. A lot of schools are going to be left out. But I think part of the beauty of this game is when the coaches pick the rosters, they're mindful of that, and they want to pick as many schools as they can to spread the wealth. Do you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the more schools that you can get involved with in an opportunity like this, the better for just Long Island football, New York football in general.
Dave, do you think it brings it back to the school? Hey, we have a guy in that game.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if it's maybe from a school that didn't have the success that some other schools that still have this really good players out there that are on teams that don't make the Nassau County or the Suffolk County final or the Long Island Championship, and to get a kid like that in a game definitely can be exciting for the school to be able to come out and support their player.
You look at the uniforms, and there's a theme now moving forward. Mark Hudak said that there would be a theme that Long Island will wear Ohio State uniforms. What was the reaction from the players that you spoke to about, hey, we're going to be in Ohio State uniforms for this game?
Pretty sweet. I think the kids are all very excited about that and can't wait to see the uniform and the helmet and be able to put that on and wear that with pride.
The one thing that I know wasn't able to, first year back, what they couldn't pull off was having a night game. It's a 1 o'clock start. Do you think that affects the crowd? Do you think you get a bigger crowd?
I think the excitement for the game, not being around for a couple of years, hopefully that excitement will bring people into the stadium. If it was 10 in the morning, I think people are going to be excited about this game.
Yeah, I'm fired up for it. You don't know you missed something until you miss something. And then when it came back and it was a conversation, I know Nassau County tried to put together some sort of an all-star game the last couple of years and it didn't work out. It's a huge undertaking. I don't think people in the public realize not just getting the players together, selection of the teams, insurance, but just equipment. The helmets. You got to get 100 helmets for the game, 50 for each team, and the expense of all that. So you need people that are going to back this idea and go with it. And I think that they have the right people from the National Football Foundation that are supporting the game.
That's amazing. We thank them for their support and being able to bring this game back. And Pete Blyberg, who ran the game in the past, does an outstanding job, and it's going to be an awesome day.
Yeah, I believe it will be. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
Now we're with the man himself, Mark Hudak, who brought this game back, New York City, Long Island football, and you're the chairman of the New York City chapter of the National Football Foundation, and you have explained to me that the most important thing to you is to promote amateur football and to put it out there in your love for football. Bringing this game back, we talked about it earlier, people don't know what they miss until they miss it.
Sure.
When you look at what you've put together, and we talked about this earlier, it takes a village, how difficult was it to bring this game back and put it on the map for June 21st?
Not really that difficult at all. I think people wanted to make it happen. Our chapter, the New York City chapter, was looking for something meaningful to do. We do some great things, but we were ready to do something different and grow. And this sort of fell into our lap. And we were just thrilled that when we looked into it and evaluated it and asked some questions and got to know what the opportunity was, it was a no-brainer.
The importance of bringing the New York City community and the Long Island community together for a common bond, let's say, for football. How important is that for you?
It's everything to me. I'm a coach. I coached. I played. I coached. I played in an all-star game back in Buffalo, which I think is, as a high school senior, knowing how meaningful that was to me, really played a lot into this. I just wanted to see these kids have that kind of opportunity, and to know that it wasn't there was meaningful to me, because I know that they're missing out.
There was a void for the last few years not having a football game. It ended after a long run,
Sure.
a very successful run, and
Yes.
it was a game everybody was excited about, as it came. It was very successful, and you're bringing it back. What is making this a success from your eyes? Outside looking in, new to the game and excited about it, what do you see as the key to making this what it was?
Well, one of the keys is, we were able to use the executive director, Pete Blyberg, who ran the Boomer game for 24 years very successfully, knows every in and out of the game, was willing and interested in bringing it back. I don't know if we could do the game without Pete. Pete's a great guy, incredible administrator, selfless, generous. So he's been my partner in bringing this back, and I really enjoyed working with him. He knows all the players. He knows the coaches and administrators on Long Island. He knows the coaches and administrators in the city. So he's a key guy.
A lot of people, who don't know, bringing a game like this back, how difficult it is, just the expense of the uniforms, the helmets. You're doing something quite special. New York City is going to wear Michigan uniforms, and Long Island's going to wear the Ohio State uniforms. The rivalry thing you were telling me about. Explain that concept and the mindset behind that.
Well, the official name of the National Football Foundation is the National Football Foundation and College Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
So the National Football Foundation is the overseer and administrator of the College Football Hall of Fame. A lot of people don't know that. As a member of the National Football Foundation, you get to vote on who goes into the College Football Hall of Fame. It's one of the privileges of membership. And that goes to all our members. So as a sort of nod to that, we thought, what could we do different creatively to make this do something different, get people excited. So what we're going to do moving forward is each year we're going to pick a rivalry game. This year it's Michigan-Ohio State. Who else to begin with, right? And we're going to put the kids in those uniforms. And so this year our New York City kids are going to wear the Michigan home uniform, the blue jersey and the maize pants. And our Long Island kids are going to wear the Ohio State away uniform with the silver pants and the silver helmet. And I just think it'll be very exciting for them. We have gone to a great expense. And, they'll get to keep their uniform. This is not a pay-for-play. This is another thing I'd like to say is, this is not a pay-for-play opportunity. These kids were invited to participate in the game. They were identified by the coaches on Long Island and the coaches in New York City and invited to participate in this game. It's a prestigious opportunity. The opportunities are scarce. It's 50 kids on Long Island, 50 kids in New York City. That's it. So they're going to come. We're wearing those uniforms. They get to keep the uniform when they're done. Another thing that we're doing, one of the big expenses of this game is we had to go buy uniforms, buy helmets. The way the insurance works with these different entities and municipalities and the school districts, we had to buy the helmets. So we bought 100 of the most technologically advanced helmets that are available in the marketplace right now. The
Axiom.
The Axiom helmet by Rydell. It's custom fit to each player's head. Rydell came in and measured.
They measured everybody's heads and fitted everybody perfectly for helmets. That was amazing.
3D scanning technology.
Yeah.
So every this is safety first. We're very tuned into safety.
Love that.
Orland and Cohen is our sponsor of the game. Orthopedic group for Northwell. They've been a great partner of ours. They came in and screened every kid. All 100 players have already been screened. Physicals. They're going to provide training facility and training personnel.
You'll have athletic trainers at
yes.
the game. You have doctors.
Doctors,
Dr. Pacey.
Yes, Doctor. Yep.
Yeah.
And so they've been a great partner. Yeah.
So volunteerism and people buying into the game, as far as being supportive and lending a hand, is really what's going to make this a success in bringing it back. Because the first year is always going to be tough, but then after you get rolling, get momentum, I think the game, takes on that whole. Every year, everybody looks forward to it.
Listen, I think we have to give credit where credit is due too. I mean, I don't know Boomer Esiason, but he did a phenomenal job for this community. When I say this community, I'm talking about the football community of the greater New York area, putting this game on for 24 years flawlessly. We just, we picked it up and dusted it off, gave it a couple of tweaks, and here we go. But and one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to honor Boomer, and with the player of the game, will be named after Boomer Esiason from this point forward. We're excited to kind of bring that into it.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, I think it's going to be a fantastic success. I'm looking forward to it. Big football guy, been doing this for a long time for Newsday Sports. It's like somebody sent you from somewhere, like an angel, to say, hey, let's do this again. And here you are.
I'm excited.
Let's make it work.
Well, I appreciate your support, Greg. We couldn't do it without you.
No doubt.
Our goal is to make this the finest all-star game in the country.
All right, that's cool. Well, good luck, and we'll see you on June 21st.
Oh, look, I can't wait. We're looking forward to it.
All right, thank you. Well, that'll do it for our preview show. I'm Greg Sarah from Newsday Sports. This is Pete Blyberg, the executive director of the All-Star Classic. And Pete, I thought we had great insight from the coaches. I thought they did a great job. I think they're ready for the game. They're
ready. And just like we have all-star players, we have all-star coaches, all-star administrators, and that's what makes this game special. Everybody just has one job to do. They don't have to worry about all things they worry about in their high schools. They come out, they have fun, they coach the kids. Should be a great day.
There's only one guy worrying about everything, and that's you. I'm Greg Sarah from Newsday Sports. This is Pete Blyberg. We'll see you at Hofstra University Short Stadium, June 21st, 1 p.m. Do not miss it. New York City's top 50 football players, the best seniors against the best 50 seniors from Long Island.